mistake. I'm an actor. You walked in and everything faded to black. And let you see, had to back on. Why you still digging? Why you peeking under my hood? Time they pass but I still see your face in flashes. Why you haunt my dreams, won't burn me into ashes? See the way I need ya, they do me amnesia. I know you're trouble, but you feel like a miracle. Miracle, miracle. You feel like a miracle. Miracle, miracle. Feel me like a miracle.
For most people, cars are just machines. Something that gets you from one place to another. A tool. But for some people, there's something more. You've probably heard this and immediately thought to yourself, what a prick. And honestly, I get it. I've been a video editor in freelance for around 6 years now, and 3 years ago I got into media production as the course. I chose this because, as I said, I've got that freelance experience in terms of video editing. I came from a background from the esports industry, basically. As much as it was nice to sit on the other end of a computer and, work my way through projects using other people's footage, I was curious to learn the entire process and the fundamentals behind, filmmaking and videography. Growing up, I was the biggest fan of Top Gear you could ever imagine. And you spend a lot of time on social media, and both my Instagram and TikTok feeds are just entirely cars, motorbikes, anything with wheels. I just became more curious about the production side of both social media and TV filmmaking work, more than just sitting there consuming it. Because obviously, I can sit there being like, oh my god, wow, these cars are so cool, blah, blah, blah. But it's just a niche that I'm passionate about, to be honest. Obviously, being a massive petrol head, as much as you have the generic television routes or filmmaking routes, going cinematography, cars have just been something that have always just fascinated me. And I've always found visually compelling. I find it really quite intriguing how you can use a lot of different factors such as, the editing, grading, sound design, even the car itself, to convey very, very emotional feelings or just emotions without speaking any words at all. And especially given how much I consume social media content as well, I feel like the sound and the music, especially when you pair that with the correct grades as well, they work synonymously to produce an effect you can't describe. What do I enjoy the most about filming cars? Honestly, I'd say, for one, obviously the cars themselves, because, I've been to a couple car meets here and there. I went to Jap Fest last year. I've been to a couple of the weekly ones in London. And you get to not only see your fair share of, very high performance cars that you don't see day to day, but the people in the car community, particularly the car owners and other media people, they're the most friendliest souls you can ever meet. The main thing that I love about filming cars is the fact that not only am I giving the owners themselves a chance to show their cars off, but it also gives a really, really nice insight into what kind of people they are and what kind of lives they lead. And I think it's quite important because that's one of the main focuses of this project, I feel like. I had a recent interaction with my parents regarding my graduation in a couple months. I went home one day after filming, that Audi that you'll see. I went home and told them, hey guys, I'm graduating. Could we, sort out the graduation details? I'd like you guys to be there. The so on and so forth. And my mum just launched a tirade of abuse at me. this course is a waste of time, this career is a waste of time, you're not going to amount to anything, you're not going to get a real job in this, you know what I mean? They've not been supportive of me taking this course at all, or doing media as a career path. And especially if you factor in, like, you know, I was doing computer science at Surrey, have a pretty strong academic background, went to like a prestigious secondary school, etc. In their eyes, especially as brown ethnic parents, nothing I'm doing right now is worth it. To them, I'm just kind of, you know, wasting time. I was living vicariously through my mom. To be honest, she's tried to project onto me, and still does, a lot of the stuff that she feels that she hasn't lived. And for a long time, I was doing all of that, and I enjoyed it because it pleased her, or at least to me, if it made her happy, then I'm happy, you know what I mean? So I just went along with it. And when I started to kind of think for myself, this isn't what I want to be doing, my passion is elsewhere, and this is especially around the time where my interest picked up in terms of video editing and just like media, we fell out big time. And so yeah, I went back home recently to talk to them about my graduation details, and my mom launched an entire tirade of abuse my way, you know. And it was hard.
So where does cars come into this equation then? Let's talk about it. So I come from a South Asian descent where, you know, growing up, and especially from our culture as well and our parents, we're forced to suppress how we express ourselves, no matter what it is. We're forced to live vicariously through our parents, whether that's, you know, the career you go into, who you like see as family, who you marry into, etc., etc. You know what I mean? And as funny as it is, the whole stereotype of brown boys immediately going to get their, you know, their German cars, their Mercs, Audi, Beamers, I'd say there's a decent bit of context to it, because these cars are the first thing that we can essentially just lock onto as a way of expression. And a lot of people set the cars, like especially their like second, third cars, as their kind of lifetime goals, right? It's something that they can be proud of and use to identify themselves, but also it's just something they can sit there and proudly say, yeah, that's mine. It's something that they can really like express themselves through, whether it's the flashy colours, you know, the sporty trims or loud exhausts. It's ways for them to be seen, heard and acknowledged. It's a quite important thing, I feel like, to look into, because I'd like to not only be able to capture ways in which other people want to express themselves, but also help them express it with whatever outlets they're able to use. The main thing, I think, as well, the amount of attention to detail that I can pay, both on and off camera, especially stuff that the average person wouldn't notice. So whether it's, you know, headlight mods, wheels, just basic things, even just paintwork, I can not only pay close attention to that and express that through the work that I do myself, but also the person whose car it is, for example. It's something that they're not able to exactly just be like, everyone look at me, I've got this, this and this, like check it out because it's cool. I feel like I'm able to kind of bring out key details in the stuff that people would like to express, whether it's through themselves or through their car. And it's kind of a big reason why I went into this path, into automotive media, essentially.
Cars and media, they're both very important outlets of expression to me. I think it's equally as important that not only am I able to give myself that voice and give myself that kind of motivation to, you know, be able to freely express myself and do what I want to do, what I'm good at. But also just kind of give other people the same kind of outlet. So in that sense, I think it's really important that, you know, I'm able to give myself a voice here and establish, this is me, this is what I do, and this is what I'm going to do.